Hello, witches. I'm Lady Adara. This is my first video on YouTube. Um, I've actually been thinking about doing this for a while, but a lot of us older witches are kind of leery about that sort of thing. I'm sure you know that. Um, I'd like to give a shout out to the Blue Witch, Hecterios, um, the Lady Grave Dancer. I've been watching you women for quite a while now, and I really enjoy your channels. I'm not working right now, so I have had a chance to sit, and I think it's really, really nice and interesting that witchcraft has come so far. I didn't realize how much the social media had to do with witchcraft now. And it's actually wonderful. I like the fact that the newer generation is coming into witchcraft. Um, I must say a lot of the things are different from how I have always been, but as I said, I'm older and I love learning new ways and new things. You never stop. I don't care if you live to be 100, you don't ever stop learning. I'm sure a lot of you know that here recently, one of our sisters died in a fire, and I lit these candles for her and her family. The whole family was lost besides one daughter. I'm sure you all know who that is. Then I was sitting here doing my dishes and listening to YouTube. You know, I'll put it on something to listen to anyway. And I ran across probably the most hateful individual that I have ran across in my entire life, much less on YouTube. I'm not going to say the names because I'm not going to promote their channel. They never have anything good to say about anybody. They're Well, if you watch YouTube long enough and search witchy channels, you'll find them. But I watched 8 videos because I'm always wanting to give people the benefit of the doubt. I couldn't find one reason. You know, about in one of the videos, I almost thought, well, there's the witch coming out in her, and then because they claim to be witches, but they don't do anything but talk bad about people and even people that have already died. I would put it more like the Jerry Springer of witchcraft. And I found myself getting so upset that I had to light my Palo Santo to clear my kitchen because I honestly felt the awful bad energy coming off of this female coming through my screen. So I lit my Palo Santo and calmed down a little bit. I had way too much energy flowing. I actually got mad, which I try not to do. A little bit about myself. Um, like I said, I've been thinking about doing this for a while now, and um, things just kind of turned and kept pushing me this direction. I feel that there's probably a reason I need to be on here. I'm not saying anything about the younger witches at all. Do not get me wrong. But the older witches have a lot to offer. They have a lot of experience, and in a lot of ways, we've learned more patience. I guess that comes with getting older, whether you're a witch or not. But I just feel that sometimes a lot of the things that I'm hearing and seeing on YouTube is, well, a lot of bullshit. Um, I can tell when somebody's real and when they're not. And that's okay, to each their own. They'll have their followers. I just want to tell the new upcoming witches, please be careful. Um, be careful who you listen to. Be careful um, what they're teaching you. If you feel in your gut, because that's where your magic is in your gut. If your gut is telling you this is wrong, this is something I probably shouldn't be doing, then it's probably something you shouldn't be doing. Or you can read up on it. There's way too much information out there to listen to one individual or read one book or just do your research. There's so many ideas that I have for topics, just from what I've sat and written notes about on things. I hope maybe I could be some help to you. I don't do spells on. I don't have email. You can email me anytime you want to talk or whatever, but I do not have you send me money and do spells for you. I may, if you ask me, I may show you maybe how I do it or what herbs I use or, something like that. But I will not do them for you because you are not going to learn that way. If you need a backup, I may help you do a booster or something like that. I don't charge. A little bit about myself. I have been a witch as far back as I can remember. The earliest I can remember, I was about 5, and evidently I said something to my mother that freaked her out. And time went on, and about 8, I said something else. So my mother ended up taking me to a psychiatrist. And the psychiatrist basically told her that there was nothing wrong with me, that I was just way beyond my years. I'd do weird things, or what everybody else thought was weird. I'd take my Barbie doll and go sit by a tree and have tea with the tree and talk to the tree. I've always been very sensitive towards animals, any animal. And then I met Hecate. I was sent to a girls' home, and I was really afraid that first night. And I was laying there in my bed and I was crying. And my roommate came over to me and told me that I needed to be quiet because if the house mother heard me crying, I would be in a lot of trouble. So I laid there and I stopped crying, or, muffled my tears and my breath. And then all of a sudden, this beautiful lady with a white robe and a purple cloak and a silver crown came through my window. And I, at that time, thought it might be my mother coming to me because she, maybe felt guilty for leaving me there. It wasn't until about 7 years later that I figured out that was Hecate. And she has been with me ever since, and I'm 51 now. So, I have my own way of worshiping her, like everybody else has their own ways. It kind of carried over from my childhood. I guess I need to turn on a light in here, huh? I don't have any makeup on. It's in the middle of the night, and it's not a fashion show anyway. So beware when I turn on the light. I will look like a true crone. Okay, better. Blow my candles out here so I'll set my hair on fire. But anyway, I have actually learned a lot of things from some of the witches on here, and I love the fact that people share things now, because used to, we didn't do that. We didn't even tell people we were witches. Not because we were afraid, but because that is, the silent thing. But, now I'm very open. Anybody that runs into me knows I'm a witch. My family knows I'm a witch. I don't know. I think some of the crap that goes on YouTube, and that's what I'm going to call it. I call it what it is. Anytime that you have a whole lot of people with a whole lot of different opinions, it's going to happen. And it's sad, but referring back to what I was talking about before about these, what I call Jerry Springer of witchcraft, one minute they'll be talking about how much they hate this person or this person's fake, or, it's like they're scrolling through channels. They can't make their own craft work. They can't get enough people. So they go through and just really bash everybody, no matter what color, what type of witch these people are. They are just nonstop cutting them down, and this has to stop. And I'm telling all of you this. Witches, we have had a bad enough rep our entire existence. So why make it worse amongst each other? Granted, not everybody's going to get along. That's why most of us are solitary witches. We are very stern in our own practice and the way we do things, and that's fine. I'm pretty versatile. I have, and the older you get bored. It's like, let me mess with this herb and see if we can make it work with this one. Or I just absolutely love doing stuff like that. It's just like being in the kitchen, and trying to do a new recipe. Well, I wonder what this would taste like in there. The path is wonderful. It's fulfilling. That's what I want to say also to the younger generation. You have to love what you do. It's not all about magic. Most of the magic is around you at all times. You just have to be able to see it. I see magic everywhere. And if I don't see it, I look for it because it's there. This bashing each other and some of the things that I hear that's going on actually really makes me sad, because we need to stick together. We are sisters on this path, and we should take care of each other. Now, I'm not saying there's not going to be little skirmishes, but, don't be throwing shit at each other. Don't be going, oh, well, she's got a better YouTube channel than me, so I'm just going to throw some shit at her. Undeservingly, when you do that, undeservingly, when that person does not deserve what you were trying to throw at them, it will come back on you. So before you throw your hexes and stuff around, start tossing energy, you better make sure that that is what they deserve, um, because it could bite you in the ass, and more than likely it will. Um, you have to be careful what you play with. Um, while this path is very interesting and it's intriguing to some that get in it and say, I want to be magical. I've had people tell me, I want to be magical. Teach me how to be magical. Well, first of all, you have to know that the magic is already there. You just have to know how to bring it out and how to use it. There's nothing wrong with books. I don't think I ever read a book on witchcraft until I was probably, I don't know, 24 or 25. And that was just out of curiosity. Um, for some reason, I've been gifted that I just knew what I was doing. Now I've gone back and analyzed myself through books. Oh, okay, that's why I do that, or that's why that happened to me when I was 11, or you know, little things have happened to me throughout my life that I definitely, if I ever doubted that I had the power, I understood that I do. Um, some of these witches on here, I really, really enjoy. I'd like to meet them in person. Um, I think it would be fun to hang out. This is virtual reality to me. I mean, I'm sitting here talking to a screen, looking at myself. um, but if you have any questions, you can comment, ask me. I will, be more than happy to answer them if I know the answer. If not, I will find it for you. Or I know plenty of other witches I can consult. Because I like to make sure I'm giving the correct information. I have several different topics throughout different videos that I'd like to discuss with you. Um, and next time I'll try to be better to look at. I will have some makeup on or something. I don't know. And that's my husband texting me from work. But anyway, I will also tell y'all a little interesting fact. I'll address one. I don't know how much time I have. About there's been a lot of arguments going on between the witches on what is a familiar, or is a familiar the same, your pet's familiars. Okay, my opinion and what the elders have always taught me is, I'm sorry, but there's really no such thing as a familiar. You can watch the movies, and most people figure that they are, like that long running series Salem, where she uses the rat, and everybody knows that's not possible. If you kill it, it's not going to come back. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen. It's against physics, and even we can't do that. Now, the cat, that's why most witches have cats. They are actually the most magical animal. You can look this up if you want. I don't know where you'd find it, but you can find anything on Google. They are the most magical creature. Every color of cat has its own thing that it does, its own specialty. Like the white cat is usually sent to somebody that is in need of love or unity, or I'm not sure what all the colors are. I personally have a black cat. I've always had a black cat, but I also have a yellow and white one that adopted me. They excuse me, I gotta text him so he don't get upset with me. It's like he'll think something's wrong. Um, the black cat, every cat has its own astrological alphabet. The feline itself has its own alphabet, but the black cat has its own. It's completely separate. It is the most magical of all of them. A black cat can actually astral travel without being noticed. Um, the cat Lexi, she's somewhere around here, that I have now is just over a little over a year old. I got her last year on Halloween, and she's old enough now that she's kind of we bonded, and she has actually astral traveled with me one time. They she when I woke up, it actually surprised me that I went and she was with me. And we have a very odd bond. She don't go, if I'm in this house, she's usually right on me, or if I get up and move, she's right there. I mean, she literally sleeps right here on my chest every night, even getting as big as she is now. But the black cat will do that. It can travel by itself. Or you can send it. Sometimes I'll whisper in her ear and, tell her to go somewhere for me. And of course, it's not physical. It She will go through the realm that I ask her to go through, and maybe tell one of my loved ones that I love them and miss them, or whatever. But that does happen. And I know there's probably people out there that are going to say that's bullshit. But I promise you it's not. Interesting piece of trivia is that's where you hear about cats having 9 lives. That came from the olden days to where, the Christians thought that each witch that had a cat, it was her familiar, and that she could go into that cat and travel inside that cat and do evil doings. But she could only do it 9 times. Interesting piece of trivia there. So that's my thoughts on that. Now, people will have their own beliefs, and that's fine. But in reality, no, we don't send rats down people's throats to choke them to death or kill them, and they come running back out. That's just crazy. But that's my thoughts on that. I have several, like I said, different topics, and I wrote myself some notes. If I can find them now, because I really had decided not to do this. I'm studying nonstop. Like I said, I'm 51, but I still, if I see something, that I want to do, or I think, oh, that'd be interesting, maybe I could do that. And maybe I ought to try that, kind of spice up my craft or my path. Because after so long, it does get a little bit boring. I mean, it's like, how many spells can you do? There's only so many. You got love, you got protection, you got hexes, money, which seem to be the main 4 that most people actually know about. But there's just so much more to the craft than doing the magic. Whether or not you follow a deity is totally up to you. I'm not sure about if they pick you or you pick them type thing. I'm sure that a lot of the deities call on people. I can't seem to get this straightened up, guys. I'm sorry, but I'm a little OCD, so y'all be patient with me. Anyway, I don't know if they pick you for sure. I haven't ever had that issue because mom picked me a long time ago before I even knew who she was or that I was a witch per se. I knew that I was different, but I didn't know, um, I didn't know that I was a witch. And until I started watching YouTube, I didn't realize that there was so many different witches. I mean, kitchen, green, gray, eclectic, all, um, whatever. I guess if I had to define myself, I would be a gray, eclectic kitchen witch. I sit in here, I do my work in my little kitchen that I have now, and um, cook and do my herbs. This is also my working altar that I'm sitting at right now. Um, my altar to Hecate is in my living room right by my door. Um, I noticed that a lot of people show their stuff, and I think that's wonderful. It gives people new ideas, but I also feel that sometimes it makes the younger witches think, "Oh, I got to get that. I got to get that. I got to get that." Well, they're nice things to have, but you don't have to have that stuff. I'm sure people have told you this. Um, you if you want, you can just sit. If you need a focus point, get a picture of something and do focus magic. That's where it all comes from anyway. Um, I look at my tools as boosters, as extra energy to make sure it gets out there and with a little more oomph to it. Um, I get my stuff just because I'm witchy and that's what I like. I will show you one day. I can't right now because I'm on my computer and I don't want to unplug it and take it in my living room. But I actually have a true Nash broom that came from overseas, was made for me. And the Nash family are the ones that used to make the witches' brooms back in the day. She wasn't cheap, but I wanted her and I got her. She's the queen of all brooms in my eyes. I am a broom person. A lot of witches collect crystal balls, herbs. I have a lot of them too, but um, I would be a broom person. Anywhere I see a broom, I get it if I can. Right now, I'm not working. Um, it was actually funny because I felt the need to do more magic here lately, and I just didn't have time. Um, and without my magic or being around my herbs, I don't feel complete. I don't feel right. I don't know if every witch feels that way, but I get to where I can't really be out in society a whole lot anymore. I'd rather just stay to myself. So it's really surprising that I'm doing this channel. But something, like I said, kept pushing me to do it, and I'm pretty sure Hecate had something to do with it. For some reason, all of her children are rising now. They're awakening. Things are just happening, and I feel them. And I'm sure most of the Hecate followers are feeling it too. Just all of a sudden, she's there. She's everywhere I look. Anything I watch on YouTube. I actually watched a movie the other night that had nothing to do with witchcraft, but they mentioned her in this movie. Can't remember what movie it was, but anyway, like I said, I have I have so many things running through my head that I want to talk about that I get lost. It's like, okay, where was I? But back to witches sticking together. We all need to stand together. We don't need to fight against each other. There's no reason to be jealous of each other. It's just ridiculous. And I know it's going to happen, but we need to do our best to make sure that it doesn't, and not hate on each other. If a witch is doing good, so be it. That's awesome. In your own time, you may be the same way. And that's another reason that I didn't want to really get on here and say what I thought. And I have a temper. Don't be surprised if sometimes I don't get on here and I just rant because, well, that's just my way of getting it out. And I also feel like maybe there's somebody else out there that feels kind of like that. That I'm not the only one. I find myself sometimes getting so depressed that I have to turn the YouTube off. I don't want to listen to the bullshit anymore. Or I have seen a couple of witches, I use that term lightly, on here that really I can see right through. It's like, oh, okay, and free enterprise, whatever. But you know, there's just a lot of things I don't agree with. Let's put it that way. And there's a lot of things that are just flat out wrong. I don't want to get on here and tell people, hey, you're wrong for doing that. That's not why I'm here. Now, if I really feel strongly that it needs to be said, that and I have a group of witches, the elder witches that I consult with. Usually before they don't know that I'm doing this video or that I've started this channel. They were kind of iffy about it. It's like, well, if that's really what you think you're called to do. Well, all I know is something pushed me, and I feel like there's someone out there that needs me. I'm not sure who you are. I can tell you things I feel. I can almost describe one of the people. But if it's meant to be, they will find me, and I'm out there now. So I actually got into today has not been a good day for me in witchery. I've lost my temper a couple of times. I've had to, you know, and get this, I have never meditated. I know a lot of the witches say, well, you need to meditate and you need to do your chakra. I never even knew what a chakra was until a couple of years ago. It never figured into my magic. I guess, a lot of times I'll take a soothing bath or my purification bath or something like that, and maybe that would be considered meditating. I don't know. But I'm not saying just because I don't that you shouldn't. Whatever makes you feel better, whatever makes you feel more relaxed to where you can do your magic. I feel better knowing when I'm more pumped up, when I actually feel the energy coursing through my blood. Right then is the time. I don't have time to go sit down and meditate for 30 minutes. I've actually tried since I learned about it. A lot of my friends do it, and I just can't seem to do it. And I'm sure there's people out there that are going to say, huh, well, she's not a real witch if she doesn't meditate. Well, that's a bunch of shit, too. I know a lot of witches that don't meditate. I don't know if it's just because I'm too high strung, but I just never been able to meditate. I wish I could. It sounds very relaxing. And I actually am still working on it just to see if I can do it because I'm like that. It's a challenge. I don't like not knowing that I can't do something. It makes me want to do it even more. But anyway, I've told you a little bit about myself. I I've also heard a lot about these herbs and these girls on one specific channel that I watch um, asking about certain herbs, which is fine, except for you need to be really careful. Um, I have what I call a WSDS sheet on every one of my herbs, anything that I use. And it's a witchy safety data sheet because some of these herbs are poisonous. Some of them, the stems are poisonous, but you can use the flowers. Some of them, the whole thing's poisonous. Some are poisonous without cooking. Some are poisonous to animals, but not humans. Some are poisonous to humans, but not animals. You need to know what you're messing with. I cannot stress that enough, especially the new ones. Don't just go out and grab a bunch of stuff. You know, your normal ones that your mother uses in the kitchen every day, your cinnamon, your basil, your oregano, bay leaf, you know, that sort of thing. But I'm talking when you go searching for wolfbane and hensbane and nightshade, quote unquote, belladonna. Um, some of those that are extremely poisonous. And then even like for instance, eucalyptus. If you have animals, I'm really bad about sitting at my table, like I said, and doing my herbs and mixing them together. And I have to make sure my animals are outside because I have a vet. My little black cat, I swear she's vegetarian. She will eat every plant around. That's why I can't grow my own herbs because she would eat them. Well, if anything drops on the floor, it's like a little 2-year-old, it's right in her mouth. So I have to be really careful and I study all my stuff because I don't want to make my baby sick. I did find out eucalyptus. You wouldn't think it'd be poisonous to cats because koalas eat it. Well, it is. It's deadly to cats. Little things like that you need to know. You need to make sure, and heaven knows you can't, remember all of them. There's a lot of them. So you always need a reference that you can go to. Make you up a sheet on Word and print it off. And, but I have the name of the plant, I have the sign, the element, the medicinal and magical properties of it, things like that. It's really helpful to know, and it's very safe that way. Um, but anyway, sorry to get on here and just throw all this at you. I should have introduced myself better. Um, but if you have any questions or if you like my channel, of course, y'all know what to do. Like, subscribe. Um, if you would like to talk to me, you can email me at thecrone51 at gmail.com. If I can help you, I will. If not, I will find a way to find the answer that you're looking for. As I said, I don't sit here and do magic on TV or YouTube. I could, and one day I might, but for now, I just want to get on here and talk about things. Maybe share my opinion, and maybe it will help someone. But anyway, I'm going to go for now. I will upload another one as soon as I can, or go live. I'd rather just go live. I'm not editing. I'm, doing none of that crap. I don't know how. But anyway, it's nice to meet you all. I will be back on here as soon as I figure out exactly what I want to talk about. And if there's any questions, I'll answer them. Merry meat witches. Y'all take care of each other, okay? Bye.